Welcome to Heartline Stories. Today's story follows a cleaner who gets a ride from a stranger and ends up falling in love. But there's a shocking twist. He's not just any man, he's her millionaire boss. How will this surprising turn of events change her life forever? You won't believe what happens next. Let us know where you're watching from. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Katie had always been a hard worker. She cleaned offices in the early mornings and then worked at a cafe in the afternoons. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. She had big dreams of one day owning her own business, but for now she focused on getting through each day. One rainy Tuesday, as she finished her shift at the cafe, Katie stood under the awning, waiting for a bus. The rain was coming down hard, and she didn't want to get drenched on her way home. Suddenly, a car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down, and a man looked out with a kind smile. "Need a ride?" he asked. Katie hesitated for a moment. It wasn't something she usually did, accepting rides from strangers, but something about his friendly face made her feel comfortable. The man was dressed in a neat suit, and his car was clean and modern. "Sure, thank you," Katie replied, climbing into the passenger seat. The drive was smooth and easy. The man introduced himself as Adam, and they made small talk. He was polite and asked about her life, her job, and her dreams. Katie told him about her plans to someday open a bakery. Adam seemed genuinely interested and even gave her some advice about the business world. When they arrived at her apartment, Katie thanked him and went to get out of the car. "Would you like to grab coffee sometime? It's nice to meet someone who's working hard to chase their dreams," Adam said with a smile. Katie was surprised. She had never expected someone like him to be interested in her. She smiled shyly. "Sure, that sounds nice." Over the next few weeks, Katie and Adam met for coffee whenever they could. They talked about everything: life, work, and their passions. Katie found herself looking forward to their meetings more and more. She liked Adam's company. He was smart, funny, and kind. He always listened to her thoughts and dreams with great attention. But there was one thing that puzzled Katie. Adam never really talked about what he did for work. He was always dressed sharply, and sometimes he mentioned things about traveling and meetings, but he never gave much detail. Katie never pressed him on it, thinking it wasn't her business. One evening, Katie was walking into a building where she had a cleaning job. She had just finished dinner when she stopped in her tracks. She saw Adam walking through the lobby with a group of people. He was laughing and talking with them, clearly the leader of the group. His confident posture and the way people looked to him made her pause. She didn't know why, but something about the scene felt important. She kept her distance, unsure of whether to approach him. Adam caught sight of her and smiled warmly, walking over. "Hey, Katie, fancy seeing you here," Adam said. Katie smiled nervously. "I didn't know you were here. What brings you to this building?" Adam's eyes twinkled. "I actually own this building," he said, his tone casual. Katie's heart skipped a beat. "You own it?" Adam chuckled. "Yeah, I own several properties around town. I'm a businessman. I guess I never mentioned that." Katie stood there speechless. She had no idea that Adam, the kind man she had been spending so much time with, was a millionaire. It was hard to believe. She had always thought of him as just a regular guy, someone who shared her passion for hard work and success. But now, seeing him in this building, surrounded by wealth and people who clearly respected him, made her realize just how much she didn't know about him. "You never told me you were this successful," Katie said, her voice quieter than usual. Adam smiled again, but this time it was different, gentle, understanding. "I didn't want you to think of me as just my job or my wealth. I wanted you to know me for who I am, not what I do." Katie felt a strange mix of emotions. She was amazed and honestly a little intimidated. The man she had been spending so much time with had a life she couldn't even imagine. She wondered what this meant for their friendship. Would it change everything? I I didn't expect this," Katie said. "I didn't know who you really were." Adam reached out gently, placing his hand on hers. "I understand, but just because I'm a millionaire doesn't mean I'm not the same person. I still want to get to know you, Katie." Katie nodded, her heart racing. She had never thought of her life as boring or small, but now, next to Adam's life, she wondered what it all meant. Could someone like her really be part of his world? Adam squeezed her hand, a reassuring smile on his face. Let's talk more about your dreams. And don't worry about all this. He gestured to the luxurious building. I'm still just Adam, the guy you met for coffee. Katie couldn't help but feel a little more comfortable. She wasn't sure what the future held, but one thing was for sure. Meeting Adam had changed everything. Katie walked with Adam to the elevator, still processing what he had just told her. His life was so different from hers, but the way he spoke made it feel like they were still on the same level. He was genuine, and that made everything feel easier. As the elevator doors closed, Adam turned to Katie with a soft smile. I'd love to hear more about your plans for the bakery. You've got the passion, and that's the most important thing. Katie felt her heart warm. She hadn't told many people about her dream. It was something she kept close, almost too afraid to share. But something about Adam made her feel like she could trust him. I've always wanted to open a little bakery in the town center, Katie said, but I don't know where to start. I work hard, but it's hard to save up enough money. Adam nodded thoughtfully. I know how tough it can be to get started, but if you ever need help or advice, I'd be happy to give you some pointers. I've had a lot of experience in business, and I can share what I've learned. Katie was surprised. She hadn't expected Adam to offer such help. He was already so successful, but he was still willing to lend a hand. It made her feel more hopeful about her future. As they reached the ground floor, Adam paused before opening the door. I want to make sure you succeed, Katie. I believe in your dream. Katie's eyes widened. You believe in me? He smiled warmly. I do, and I'll do what I can to help you. For a moment, Katie just stood there, overwhelmed with emotion. She had always believed in herself, but hearing someone else say it made it feel even more real. Adam seemed to sense her hesitation. You don't have to take any offer right now. I just want to be a friend and help however I can. I think you've got something special. Katie smiled shyly. Thank you, Adam. I don't know what to say. Just keep dreaming big, Adam replied. That's the most important thing. Keep pushing forward. As Katie stepped into the elevator to leave, she couldn't help but feel like her life was about to change. She had met Adam by chance, and now he seemed like someone who could help her reach her goals. But what would it mean for her to accept his help? Would it change their relationship forever? Katie left the building that evening, feeling a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. There were so many questions left unanswered. Was this the start of something new? Would she be able to build her bakery? And what would that mean for her life? As Katie walked out of the building and onto the busy streets, she felt a wave of emotions: hope, confusion, and curiosity. She had always dreamed of owning her own bakery, but now, with Adam's unexpected offer of help, everything felt a little more real and a little more complicated. Could she accept his offer without feeling like she owed him something? She took a deep breath, trying to clear her mind. It was late, and the city lights glimmered around her. Katie wasn't used to being offered help, especially from someone so successful. She couldn't help but wonder if there was more to Adam than she realized. Was he just being kind, or was there something else at play? The next few days were a whirlwind. Katie went to work, came home, and tried to distract herself by focusing on her plans for the bakery. She spent hours researching everything she could: costs, equipment, location. But no matter how much she focused, her mind kept drifting back to Adam's words. It wasn't until she was sitting in her tiny apartment late one evening, sorting through a pile of papers, that she got the call. The number was unfamiliar, but Katie answered anyway. Hello, she asked, her heart racing. Hi, Katie, it's Adam, came his calm voice on the other end. I was wondering if you'd like to meet for coffee tomorrow. I've got a few ideas for your bakery. Katie's pulse quickened. She hadn't expected him to reach out so soon. Sure, that sounds great, she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. Great. How about 10 a.m. at that little cafe on Pine Street? Katie agreed, and the conversation ended. She couldn't shake the feeling that this meeting could change everything. Would Adam's advice really help her achieve her dreams? Or was he simply trying to get closer to her in some way she didn't understand? The next morning, Katie woke up early. She couldn't focus on anything other than the upcoming meeting. Was she overthinking things? Maybe Adam truly just wanted to help her with her business. But even if that was the case, could she really accept his help without feeling indebted? At the cafe, Katie arrived first, and as she stood in line to get a coffee, she couldn't help but notice how beautiful the place was. The soft chatter of people filled the air, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee made her feel at ease, if only for a moment. When Adam arrived, he walked in with a casual confidence that made her feel a little out of place. His suit was sharp, and his posture spoke of someone used to being in control. But there was something about his warm smile that made her feel comfortable. "Katie," he greeted her with a smile as he approached. "How's everything going?" She smiled back, trying to hide the nervousness bubbling inside her. "Good, just been working on the bakery plans." They both grabbed their drinks and sat at a quiet table in the back corner. As Adam sipped his coffee, he looked at her with a thoughtful expression. "You've got a great vision for your bakery, Katie," he said, "but I think you might need a few extra resources to make it happen." Katie looked at him, her heart pounding. "What do you mean by that?" Adam smiled slightly. "I think you're trying to do everything on your own, but there's no shame in getting the help you need. I know some investors who might be interested in backing your idea, but I want to help you do it your way, not just because I can give you money." Katie stared at him, her mind racing. An investor? Was he offering to help her in a way that she didn't expect? Was it just business, or was there more behind it? She wasn't sure she could trust him completely, but she also couldn't ignore the opportunity that was staring her in the face. I, I don't know what to say," she stammered. "I've never thought of asking for that kind of help before." Adam smiled gently. "I can tell you're hesitant, and that's okay. But sometimes the best things come from accepting help from others. You don't have to do this alone." Katie felt a mix of emotions: excitement, uncertainty, and even fear. Was this a chance she should take? Could she really trust Adam with her dream, or was he trying to get something from her in return? Katie sat back in her chair, staring at her coffee. Adam's words echoed in her mind. "You don't have to do this alone." She wanted to believe him, but everything about the situation felt so surreal. The idea of opening her own bakery had always been her dream, something she wanted to build with her own hands. Accepting help from someone like Adam, someone with so much money and power, felt like she would be giving away part of that dream. But could she really afford to do this alone? Running a business was expensive. Without proper backing, her bakery would likely never see the light of day. "I don't know," Katie finally said, her voice quieter than usual. "It just feels like too much. I've always been independent." Adam's gaze softened. "I get it, Katie. I really do. But sometimes being independent doesn't mean doing everything by yourself. It means knowing when to ask for help, when to trust others." Katie looked at him, still unsure. But there was something about the way Adam said it that made her feel like he wasn't just offering money. He was offering his support, his belief in her vision. "Thank you for believing in me," she said, her voice a little steadier now. "But I'm not sure I'm ready to make a decision like this." Adam nodded, his expression calm and patient. "Take your time, Katie. I'm not rushing you. I just wanted you to know the door's open, if you ever want to walk through it." Katie felt a weight lift off her shoulders. Adam wasn't pushing her. He wasn't making her feel like she had to take his offer. He was giving her space to think. As the meeting wrapped up, they both stood up, and Katie felt a little more at ease. "Thanks again, Adam. I'll think about it," she said, giving him a small smile. Adam smiled back. "Anytime, Katie. And remember, I'm here if you need anything." Katie walked out of the cafe, her mind buzzing with thoughts. She had so much to consider now. She could start her bakery with Adam's help, and that might be the boost she needed. But was she ready to take that leap? Could she trust him? For the rest of the day, she couldn't focus. Her thoughts were all over the place. She knew she needed to make a decision soon. The bakery was everything she had worked for. Could she trust someone like Adam to help her bring it to life? That night, she sat on her couch, her phone in her hand, scrolling through photos of bakeries and recipes. But even as she looked at all the ideas she had, her mind kept drifting back to Adam. What if this was the opportunity she needed? What if she could make her dream come true with his help? The next day, she called her best friend Grace to talk it over. Grace had always been her sounding board, the person Katie trusted to help her make big decisions. "Hey, Grace," Katie said when her friend picked up. "I need to talk to you about something." Of course. What's up? Grace replied, always ready to listen. Katie explained the meeting with Adam, and Grace was quiet for a moment before responding. That sounds like a huge opportunity, Katie, Grace said, but I get why you're unsure. You've worked so hard on this. I know you don't want to feel like you owe anyone. I know, Katie replied, but the more I think about it, the more I realize I might not be able to do it all by myself. Maybe I need to accept help this time. Grace was silent for a moment, and then she spoke again. What's your gut feeling telling you? Katie thought about it for a long time. Her gut was telling her that this was a chance she couldn't ignore. It wasn't just about the money. She could sense Adam genuinely believed in her dream. I think, I think I should take the chance, Katie said finally. But I'm still scared. Of course you are. But think about what you want. This could really change your life, Katie. Katie smiled, feeling a bit more confident. Thanks, Grace. I think I needed to hear that. Later that afternoon, Katie made her decision. She dialed Adam's number, her heart pounding in her chest. The phone rang twice before he picked up. Hello? Adam's voice was warm and friendly. Hi, Adam. It's Katie, she said, trying to steady her breath. I've thought about it, and I'd like to accept your offer. I think you're right. I don't have to do this alone. There was a brief pause before Adam spoke, and when he did, his voice was filled with surprise and genuine joy. Katie, I'm so glad to hear that. You won't regret it. We'll make sure your dream comes true. Katie smiled, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. Thank you, Adam. I'm ready to take the next step. Katie felt a rush of excitement mixed with nervousness as she hung up the phone. She couldn't believe it. She had just agreed to take Adam's offer. This was the beginning of something big, something she had dreamed about for years. In the weeks that followed, things started to move quickly. Adam made sure that everything Katie needed to open her bakery was taken care of. He helped her find a location, hired the right people, and even brought in a design team to make sure the space felt warm and welcoming. Katie worked harder than she ever had before, pouring all her passion into the bakery. It wasn't easy, but it felt right. And through it all, Adam was there, offering advice and encouragement whenever she needed it. But what surprised her most was how kind and genuine he was. He wasn't just a businessman, he truly cared about her success. Opening day came, and Katie stood in front of her bakery, her heart pounding with excitement and pride. The doors opened, and customers began to pour in. The bakery quickly became a local favorite, and business boomed. As the months passed, Katie's dream became a reality. Her bakery, Katie's Sweet Treats, was now one of the most popular spots in town. People loved the cozy atmosphere and, of course, her delicious pastries. She had worked so hard, and with Adam's support, she had built something that was truly hers. One evening, after a long day of baking and serving customers, Adam stopped by the bakery. He had a small box in his hand. I have something for you, he said, his smile warm as he handed it to her. Katie opened the box to find a delicate silver necklace with a small charm in the shape of a heart. It's beautiful, she said, her voice filled with surprise. I know this is your dream, Katie, Adam said, and I'm so proud of everything you've achieved. This is a symbol of your success and everything that's still to come. Katie felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She never could have imagined this. Her dream, her hard work, and Adam's unwavering support all coming together like this. I don't even know how to thank you, Katie said, looking up at him. You've already done it, Adam said, his eyes kind. You've made it happen. You believed in yourself, and that's all that matters. As the evening came to a close, Katie sat back, feeling fulfilled in a way she never had before. She had built her dream from the ground up, and now with Adam by her side, she was ready for whatever the future held. Katie knew that this was just the beginning. With hard work, determination, and the right people supporting her, she could achieve anything. And no matter where life took her, she would never forget the journey that brought her to this moment. The journey that started with a simple offer of help and turned into the greatest gift of all. The realization that dreams really do come true. Thank you for joining us on this Heartline journey. Remember, sometimes life brings unexpected surprises. Love can bloom in the most unlikely places. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.